All right. The NFL landscape, the NFL draft has completely gotten shaken up thanks to a massive blockbuster trade by the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks send Russell Wilson and a fourth-round pick to the Denver Broncos in exchange for 2 firsts, 2 seconds, 1 fifth, quarterback Drew Lock, defensive lineman Shelby Harris, and tight end Noah Fant. Oh man, this is insane. The AFC West is absolutely stacked. If you take Derek Carr and you move him into the AFC East, I mean, he's probably able to go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen for the most part, but like, that whole division is crazy. You're talking Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Derek Carr. Derek Carr being the 4th quarterback in that entire division is bonkers to me. Absolutely insane. Now, this would be a 2-year contract for Russell Wilson. He has to accept the terms. He does have a no-trade clause here. The 2 years remaining on his contract, his cap hits are going to be $24 million this year and $27 million next year. Now, that's if he doesn't decide to renegotiate his contract. Obviously, with Aaron Rodgers getting retained up in Green Bay and him getting a like $200 million 4-year deal, or at least that's what's being rumored, it wouldn't shock me to see to see Russell Wilson renegotiate that contract to make sure he is fairly paid based on his skill level at his new location. This is enormous. Absolutely enormous, and shakes up the whole AFC, because now you're talking not even just in the AFC West, you're talking about the entire AFC. So you got Russell Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, Burrow, Jackson, Allen. The list goes on and on. I mean, Wentz is still here for right now in Indianapolis. You got up-and-coming Trevor Lawrence, Deshaun Watson, depending on where he winds up going. This is like a absolutely loaded conference. Maybe Aaron Rodgers knew Denver was going to go after the Russell Wilson trade, and he decided, hey, I'm staying back in the NFC. Screw going to the AFC. That's like way harder over there. Who knows? He would have gone to the Broncos if he was going to get traded anyway. But either way, I am very surprised that this trade got done for what it got done for, because as a Jet fan, I think this is the funniest friggin' thing that could possibly happen, because Jamal Adams cries his way out of town, smokes his little cigar, and has all his moves and everything on Instagram or whatever the frig he's doing, and then just 2 years later, there goes the quarterback you all wanted, and he is gone. I hope Jamal Adams has a miserable time over there. Good luck taking snaps and watching the offense run under Geno Smith. Or maybe we get lucky and then Sam Darnold winds up getting traded to Seattle. That would just make me feel all sorts of excited. Now, I don't think Drew Lock is their quarterback of the future. It just gives them an opportunity to let him and Geno Smith kind of duke it out. Or if they decide to go the free agent route as well, maybe they look for someone like Marcus Mariota to compete. I don't think that Seattle is in a position right now where they want to take a quarterback at the top of this draft. I think they're going to have to rip everything down. It probably means a DK Metcalf trade. It probably means, a few other players wind up going. But I don't think that they are in a position to draft a quarterback at the number 9 pick, because that's where they're sitting right now. But I do think I have an issue with this, because this definitely impacts the Jets' potential of trading out at number 10, because I could see Seattle just wanting to accumulate as many picks as possible. And they might be on the phone with Seattle saying, hey, why don't you send, or might be on the phone with the Steelers, and they might be saying, hey, don't send your picks to the Jets. We'll take the same deal to slide back from 9, and we'll just keep accumulating picks, and you don't have to send picks to an AFC rival, potentially. You could send it to the NFC. So it's going to be interesting to see. I see some people talking about DK Metcalf, and could he potentially be traded for the Jets? I don't know what it's going to take to get DK Metcalf, but I would say probably not. You think the Seahawks gave up 2 firsts and a third just to get Jamal Adams. So basically, Russell Wilson is only worth, 2 seconds roughly, and 3 players more. I guess it's probably not 2 players more. I don't know. Look, I think the Broncos definitely won this trade. The Seahawks got some pieces back. I'm not going to lie. They're going to start rebuilding, and I think it will be harder for them this year. This is going to be a rough year. They're going to take their lumps for sure. I think they are going to be one of the top 5 worst teams in the league. I mean, you consider they were a top 10 pick with Russell Wilson on that team. So there's no way it's going to be happening for them anytime soon. So they'll be looking towards quarterback in the future. But what winds up happening across the league? How does this impact us? How does it impact the draft? Because with Calvin Ridley getting dinged for the gambling, that changes how Atlanta might approach the number 8 pick. And then with the Seahawks now sitting in front of the Jets at number 9, who could they possibly be targeting that could, impact the Jets at number 10? This is interesting. Man, this gets like every part of like the NFL landscape. It changes the entire landscape of the NFC. The AFC was already stacked, but you just add another name over here. Like, this is probably the worst time to try and be building up a team in the AFC. Not going to be easy. Oh, let's see. What are you guys talking about over here in the chat? I want to get some of your thoughts. John says, would you rather... Let's see. Let me move this up a little bit. Bam. Would you rather develop a wide receiver from the draft or trade some picks for DK? I don't want to trade for DK. I'm still on the I would rather trade for Amari Cooper bandwagon, just because I do think that he provides a better value with like the safety of being able to get out of his contract. But we'll see. Frank says Seattle isn't trading with the Jets again. Let's stop the DK Metcalf talk. 100% agree. I don't think there's any chance he winds up coming over here. Doug says, oh, to be a fly on Jamal Adams' wall right now. It'd be amazing. Jacob says, suck it, Jamal. Jamal hasn't even been on our team for 2 years, and there's just some sort of satisfaction that I get for watching this guy, like, just totally have, like, awful luck. And I don't wish bad luck on, like, anyone, but, like, Jamal's one that, like, he can go kick rocks. Stefano says, Jamal Adams punching air. John Hepburn says, Willis is who Pete Carroll wants. He saw something. Maybe that is. Maybe they wind up taking quarterback at number 9. I'm all for that. I'm good with them taking quarterback in front of us because then a better guy falls to us at number 10. And I will say this. I think Denver was a bigger threat to take an edge rusher at 9 than some of the other teams in front of us. So we may get one extra edge rusher falling down to us now. So I do really, really like that. Andre Simmons says Jamal Adams trade just keeps getting better. Taps any button. Just crying face. I love that. Chrono Kenny says we might move out of 4, honestly. So maybe that's a situation. Now, maybe that the Seahawks have all their draft picks or have a bunch of draft picks now. Maybe they're looking to come up to number 4. You want to give us DK Metcalf at number 9? Done. Absolutely done. Come on up. Get whoever you want at number 4. No problems. We'll 100% do that trade. Sam says Broncos Super Bowl favorite. You got to think they're going to be talked about it, especially with free agency coming up. I mean, you think they probably traded away Von Miller to get a second and a third round pick, and they traded one of those seconds, more than likely, to go get Russell Wilson. Von Miller goes off, gets a ring. He's going to go right back to Denver after this. This is incredible. It's honestly insane what's going to wind up happening with Denver. And I would say this is probably setting them up for a Super Bowl run this year. For sure. I mean, that offense is absolutely loaded. Even with losing Noah Fant, they're going to be able to go out and probably sign whoever they want. There's going to be enough energy around that team right now heading into free agency. Matt Moore says they pick up Jimmy Garoppolo, and they're good. Maybe they could pick up Jimmy Garoppolo in some sort of trade. Maybe they trade a second-round pick. I think that's all right, but why would a division rival trade their division rival a quarterback? That just seems absolutely silly. Liam says Seahawks staring quarterback Trubisky in the face. Yeah, maybe. I've heard rumors of him going to the Steelers as well, so that could be a possibility. T. Kelly says since the Seahawks are giving away elite quarterbacks, you think they'd be willing to trade Geno to us? Get the hell out of here. No, stay out of here. Stay Woke TV. That's all Jamal ever wanted was to get paid and burnt his name. Doing it in the NFL. Yeah, good. Screw him. I cannot stand Jamal Adams. Jared says, honestly, hear me out. Sauce at 4 would be, what is that? J-I-D-A, excited. I don't know how to pronounce things. Words are hard now. But yeah, Sauce Gardner at 4, edge rusher at 10. That's what I'm looking at. John Hepburn says, watch OBJ signs with the Broncos. It wouldn't shock me, to be perfectly honest. He's a free agent as well. I know he does want to stay in LA because he does have a home there. So I wouldn't really be surprised if he just stayed where he was. The NY Billy says Metcalf at 10. No, not going to happen. It's absolutely not going to happen. It's going to be he'll get traded somewhere else, I think, but it will not be to the New York Jets, especially after we got 2 firsts for Jamal Adams. You would think for DK Metcalf, they would want something similar in that vein. It's Vin drops in with super chat, says, LOL Jamal, Jets continue to win the Jamal trade. This isn't even like an impact of the New York Jets. It just kind of like makes me smile. I mean, who knows? If they take a quarterback at number 9, that Jamal Adams trade is just going to look so much better. The Jamal Adams trade basically forced the Seahawks into this position because they have no assets to surround Russell Wilson with anything. It does keep getting better. It does make me happy. I will say that. Franco, biggest Jets news is Cam Robinson getting franchise tag. Does this mean they draft Hutch at 1? I don't know. I don't get that feeling. I don't know. I feel like you would want to protect your quarterback. Like, I would take Ekwonu or Neal at 1 if I were the Jaguars and just build that offensive line for that generational quarterback, that running back in ETN that you just drafted last year in the first round as well. I think you surround them with as much talent as possible. But could it mean Hutch at 1? I guess it could. I don't love seeing Cam Robinson getting franchised. I'll tell you that much. Let's see. Ant Boogie says Jamal Adams is the new quarterback for the Seahawks. LOL. I shouldn't say I get satisfaction out of watching Jamal like kind of suffer like this, but I really do. It's bad. I don't wish bad things on anyone, but I do wish that Jamal would burn his tongue on a cup of hot coffee. Mr. Richter says, to be honest, I hate this move for Denver. Even with Russell, Herbert, and Mahomes, or even with Russ, Herbert and Mahomes are better, so at best, he's the 3rd best quarterback in the division. Yeah, well, guess what? There's still 3 wild card spots. So even if they're not the first in their division, they still have 3 other opportunities for him to get them into the playoffs. And at that point, it's just a crapshoot because who knows? You may have Mahomes on the opposite end of the bracket and he gets bounced by Buffalo next year. So I am all about this trade for the Broncos. I think it makes a ton of sense for them. And what were they going to do at quarterback? I mean, the only quarterback that would have been better than Russell on the trade market would have been Aaron Rodgers. And you're probably giving up more than what they gave up for Russell Wilson, if I had to guess. Stay Woke TV says, Jimmy to the Raiders, Deshaun to Miami, Matt Ryan gets traded to Washington from Madden 22. Let's see. I think Matt Ryan probably retires a Falcon at this point. Deshaun Watson is not going to Miami. I'm pretty sure Ross came out and said that he is no longer an option. Jimmy to the Raiders. I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do any of these. I mean, Matt Ryan to Washington does make sense, don't get me wrong, of all those. But I don't think Washington should be trading any type of picks for Matt Ryan either. Let's see. It's Cola says Metcalf for 38, then get Sauce at 4, Linderbaum at 10, McBride at 35. What you think, Ryan? They're not going to trade Metcalf for 38. That's just not going to happen. John Hepburn, the Jaguars franchise left tackle. Does that mean they're drafting defense now? I hope not. Wild Wave, man, everyone's talking about this. Rumors are Jags might select Hutchinson. Maybe they're trying to get Detroit to do a little flip-flop action so they don't have to make their pick. It's possible. We'll see. This offseason is shaping up to be absolutely bonkers. Let's see. V-Man drops in the super chat, says that word. Cannot pronounce that word. Says pleasure in one's misery. Oh, okay. So that's what I am having. I'm having pleasure in Jamal Adams' misery. I don't care. That's all right. Let's see. Chrono Kenny asks, why are these rumors of Raiders moving off Carr? That is just beyond dumb for them, if you ask me. I feel like the Carr rumors have kind of been going around for like the last 3 years. One of my buddies is a really big time Raiders fan, and every year it just sort of seems like, oh, maybe we should go after this guy. And I don't know if Derek Carr is the type of quarterback that you're going to win a Super Bowl with. And I think that's probably, like, I don't want to compare Carr to Cousins because that's not fair to Carr, but I do think that there is probably a tier of quarterback that more than likely is going to have a hard time overcoming the obstacles to win a Super Bowl. And I do put Carr and I do put Cousins in that same type of conversation. I don't know. I'm not sure why they would want to move off Carr. I like him. I think he's really good. Let's see. Rusty Spooner says, "Hey Jamal, hope you're happy being a rainy city bitch pigeon. LOL. Gangrene for life, fam." Yeah, this is a happy moment for us. Philip Allen. I shouldn't say happy moment. It just makes me chuckle. Philip Allen says, "Do you see Joe Douglas getting on the phone or making a trade in the next day or two with players coming off the board?" I think he's on the phone. I think he's making some calls right now. I do think Amari Cooper is squarely in the wheelhouse. From what I understand, the Jets and Dolphins both made trade offers to the Miami Dolphins for Calvin Ridley. So I do think the Jets are dead serious about it, but the Falcons did not pursue them because they knew that the gambling issue was coming up and it wouldn't be a very good thing. Let's see. Why are you hating on former Jets? Why aren't you rooting for them? I usually root for old Jets. I have no problem with that. Or at least I don't actively root against them. But in this case, I hate Jamal Adams. He absolutely imploded this locker room. Maybe I should be thanking him because we got Elijah Vera Tucker out of it. We got the number 10 overall pick for it. So I really should be kind of happy. But I'm sour on Jamal because we passed on Mahomes. We passed on Watson. We drafted him, and then he was just a head case. So I don't like Jamal. So sorry, I'm gonna wear that one on my sleeve. Wild Wave says, "Suffer Jamal, suffer." Jared P, "Can we talk about Jordan Love? What does Green Bay do with him? They got to trade him, right? Otherwise, a wasted pick." I think the Steelers are an option. I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin has come out and said he wants to get a running style quarterback. And Jordan Love at least provides that mobility for them. Not to mention it's traded out of conference. I don't think they're getting a first-round pick for him, but I think a second-round pick is probably on the table. You could probably throw that name out there with Washington, maybe the Saints, guys like that. Guys that could use a quarterback on a slightly cheaper deal. And I think it's only like a $4 million cap hit for the next 2 years if you trade for Jordan Love. Jerry, sign me up. Chase Young and 2 firsts for Mike White. Jacob Booth drops in with a super chat, says, "Seahawks roll with Locke. Panthers roll with Sam. Tank for Bryce Young. Battle incoming." 100%. I do think that the Panthers are stuck with Sam for this year. I think they're not going to pull the trigger at a number, number 6. I don't think they do that for a quarterback. And Seattle, I do think they are definitely rolling with Luck, and they're just going to bomb out. This is a rebuild. They're going from the bottom up. It would not shock me if they trade out of 9. It would not shock me if they trade some more pieces away to just get a younger team. Would not shock me. The NY Bully drops in, says, "If the Broncos got Rodgers, would the haul have been greater than what they gave up for Russ? Which quarterback is better at this point in their careers?" I would say I would be willing to give up more for Rodgers because I do think Rodgers is a better quarterback than Russell. Not by like a crazy ton, but you know what? I don't think this is a bad trade for the Broncos. I think this is the right trade. Like, I think I would have given up more than this for Rodgers, but I think if you can I would have said Wilson would have gone for something similar. So I guess this is not too bad. I think the Seahawks absolutely lost this trade. Now, they have to kind of take one on the chin because Russell's like, you know what? Sorry, I'm not playing for you, or, all angry at the coaching staff or whatever. It's weird. It's interesting. Absolutely fascinating to see. Now, Russell is a lot younger. Russell's like 33 years old, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's 34 in November. And I'm pretty sure Rodgers is like 37 or 8. So there's like a 4-year age gap. I would say Rodgers, based on his play style, seems like he could play longer. Russell, I feel like holds on to the ball too long and winds up taking a few unnecessary shots in the in the backfield, like not even with him running or anything like that. I like the trade for Denver. I don't have any problems with this. It's Cola. Drops in the super chat, says Jets get Tomlinson, cut McGovern, draft Linderbaum. I'm fine with cutting McGovern after the draft if you're comfortable with what you do at center. I do think the Jets are going to go after Jensen. I do think we're going to go after Bozeman. I do think we want to get a center. I don't think Linderbaum is that center. I think things would have to break pretty poorly for the Jets for them to take him at number 10. We'll see. I do like Tomlinson. I would take Tomlinson in a heartbeat. I would probably go after Bozeman. Jensen's apparently, he's looking for like $15 million a year, so I don't know if I'd go that route. Who knows? Rodgers, a choke artist. Yeah, it's true. Let's see. What else are we talking about? Johnny Reb says Malik Willis a lock at number 9. I don't think so. I think I'm pretty sure the Seahawks are just going to kind of bottom out and just let this play out and get some more picks in a better quarterback class next year. You try to get the kid from Alabama. That would be what I would try to do. And my bully says, and Russell came out saying how he was staying in Seattle a few days ago, LOL. I didn't see that, but that's pretty funny. I guess in theory he could say, no, I'm not accepting this trade, but I don't know why you would do that. I do think Denver is definitely better all around than Seattle right now. And both divisions suck. Like you're either staying with like the 49ers, the Rams, and the Cardinals. I would say he probably got a slightly easier schedule going to the Broncos but I mean, you're probably splitting hairs. I don't know. It's absolutely crazy that this is going on. T. Kelly says Sauce at 4, O-line or D-line at 10, Christian Watson 35, McBride 38. What do you think? I think you probably just watched one of my videos from yesterday or today because I am absolutely on board with this. I would say I'm not really in favor of O-line at 10 anymore. I would say I'm 100% on edge rusher at one of our 2 picks. So whether it be Sauce at 4 or edge at 4, one of either 4 or 10 has to be an edge rusher. And I think the value probably makes more sense to get it at number 10, especially now teams that could be considering edge rusher. We're going to know at 4 what we should do if 2 guys go before us. If Hutch goes 1 now, that would be bad. Then you got to figure out what does Detroit do because Sauce Gardner is from Michigan, so maybe they take a hometown kid in Sauce instead. But they just took Akuda like 2 years ago, but he can't stay healthy. So I don't know. I'm not sure how this draft goes. I still think that if I were the Jaguars, I would go offensive line. Like you take Ekwonu, hoping that you maybe use him at guard. And in the event that you can't re-sign Cam Robinson from his franchise tag that you just gave him, you have that option to move Ekwonu over to tackle next year. So I think they're still on the offensive line train, but I'm T. Kelly. Yes, Sauce, D-line at 10, Watson 35, McBride 38, 100% I would do that. It's Cola says, I'm off the wagon of drafting wide receiver at 10. Too many good receivers in this draft. I would say this receiver class is very deep. I would not say it's top heavy by any stretch of the imagination. So at number 10, I mean, you're talking either Garrett Wilson or probably Drake London if he runs a pretty fast 40 at his pro day. I do not want receiver at 10. I think the value is going to be better at 35 or 38. Who knows? You might be able to get Treylon Burks sliding down in the second round. I don't think it's like that crazy of a circumstance to possibly have happen. We'll see. Antonio, I like it. Sauce and Jermaine. I like that. I would prefer Sauce and Trayvon Walker. Walker's the guy I want at the top part of this draft, but I don't know if he's going to make it to 10. If he's there, you may have to consider pulling the trigger on him at 4, which I would totally be okay with, and then you just hope that Sauce slides down to 10. I would even be okay moving up, trading a 4th or something to hop a pick or 2 to facilitate us making sure we get our edge and Sauce here. Sully says, Zach Wilson stat prediction next year, over, under, 25 touchdowns, 3,900 yards. I'm going to say under for next year. I hope it's over, but I'm going to say under until proven otherwise. Because if I say over, then it's going to be, oh, I shot myself in the foot. It's not going to work. But I hope it's over. It's Cole says, John Dotson is the guy I like, to be honest, Ryan. What are your thoughts on him? I love him. I think he's really good. I really think he is a legit option at 35 or 38 if he shakes loose from the first round. And I think it's possible. I think there's a few receivers that could go a little bit higher. There's a lot of guys in the second round I like. I like George Pickens from Georgia. I like, if Burks falls that far, I like him. I like Dotson. I like Jameson Williams if he's there. I like Christian Watson if he's there. Like, there's a lot of options. And I would have no problem taking any one of those in the second as opposed to going in the first. Jerry Roble. I believe the Jets have the most attractive roster in the NFL. Everyone can believe what they want to believe. T. Kelly. Nathan Shepard traded to Seattle for DK and a first they got from Denver. JD working his magic again. That would be absolutely incredible. But I don't think that's going to happen. That would be just a little crazy. What else we got going on over here? Sky Moore, mad underrated. Have you watched his tape? I have not watched Sky Moore, I'll be honest, because I was more thinking wide receiver in the first, so I got to go back and kind of do a little bit more tape review on him. But I have heard good things, so I will have to do a little research there. Tight end free agent market has disappeared. Now what, Everett? I don't know what you do. This is a really rough tight end class. I would rather roll the dice on O.J. Howard for like $5 million because of his upside than Everett. Everett's not really known as a blocker. Not necessarily that Howard is either, but at least Howard has that first round pedigree that maybe you hit his ceiling after kind of coming out from behind Brait and Gronk. Hey, no one's talking about Gronk. Gronk's a free agent, right? Maybe he goes to the Jets. Probably not. Does Wilson trade help or hurt Watson's value? I feel like it would be hard to ask for more for Wilson than for Watson. Your thoughts? This is a great question. So I think this hurts the I would bet it's similar. I think you probably lose value based on Watson's situation, but you gain value based on his age. I don't know where you send him. I feel like he's a match made in heaven for Washington because Washington is just like a degenerate group of people over there. I just don't understand. Like not their fans or anything, but I would say their ownership and everything that's like the chaos that's going on in Washington. I do not. I would say this hurts Watson's perceived value, but I think in reality it's going to be something similar to this. It's going to be players and high draft picks, but we'll see. Joe King drops in with super chat. Joe King says Zach Ertz and Trey McBride. Yeah, sign me up. I wanted to trade for Ertz this past regular season, and we didn't do it. So I would absolutely sign him in free agency. And you guys know how I feel about McBride. I really like him. I would absolutely take him at 35 or 38. But I'm also fine with a few other tight ends in this draft class. It doesn't have to be McBride for me, so I'm not going to reach if I don't have to. William Johnson. I was really high on Jordan Davis. Think he could be a great replacement for Foley Fatukasi if we trade back from 10. Thoughts? I'm not going to lie. I really don't want to spend a first-round pick on a defensive tackle. I understand the thought process there, but I think you could find a few other guys maybe a little bit later. If they make that move, I would probably be pretty upset. But, yeah, it's got to be an edge rusher for me. I can't go D-tackle in the first round. I can't sign off on that one. Pokey Collector. Do you take Hutchinson with number 4 if he slides? Sorry about spelling. If I were to go... If Hutchinson falls to 4, yeah, I would take him. No questions asked. I hope that happens. Joe King. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Zach Ertz and Trey McBride. See, he's doubling down on it. He didn't send just one super chat. He sent 2. Triple B 29 Rob says, we got to get J.C. Jackson. Now we don't need Schultz money. That's the one thing that's interesting about this whole process. With everyone getting franchise tagged or being retained by their teams, the Jets are going to have a lot of salary cap space for not a lot of really talented free agents. So I think what's going to wind up having to happen is the Jets should pay Berrios a little bit more. They should pay Foley Fatukasi just a little bit more, because are you going to go out and overpay for mediocre free agents, or do you want to retain guys on your own roster who played the game? Berrios, if he comes back next year, he's absolutely going to be a captain on special teams. Foley Fatukasi, probably going to be a captain on defense again if he comes back. So I would rather retain some of our own guys and go with Sauce at the top of the draft than going for J.C. Jackson. But look, J.C. Jackson is my top cornerback. I just don't know if I want to devote $20 million to a 28-year-old guy. What do I got going on over here? Sorry, phone calls coming in. RJ McPot says, Blitz boy on suicide watch. Oh, geez. Yeah, Jamal Adams cannot be happy right now. Tiago says, Pats have no plans on tagging Jackson. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Kieran says, Sauce at 4, Karlaftis at 10. I wouldn't hate that. All right, let's circle this back around and go back to the Russell Wilson stuff, and I'll kind of sum this up. So Russell Wilson gets traded 2 firsts, 2 seconds, a 5th, Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant, and the Broncos get Russell Wilson. So I am all about this move for the Broncos. I think it's good. I think it's a good trade. I love that Jamal Adams probably reeling and really upset about this. It makes me happy. But guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is a crazy day for the NFL. Absolutely bonkers. But it's been fun, boys and girls. This is Ryan. It's been Jets Talk. Jets.